luncheon, and you're invited. This is year 2 of our climate justice work, and this year's $2 million 12-month campaign is all about linking and combating the relationship between climate and Black health. We already know that these wildfires will leave in their wake even greater inequities, including negative impacts on Black health, given the toxic air pollutants circulating in the air we breathe. So, as part of this year's climate campaign, we're honoring Black doctors and leaders in healthcare at our annual Black History Month luncheon, Friday, February 28th at noon. If you would like to join us, just go to our KBLA 1580 website and register for your chance to be our guest at the luncheon. We'd love to see you. And in case you haven't heard the news, KBLA Talk 1580 was just named one of the semifinalists for the American Climate Leadership Awards 2025. Caring about the climate, caring about the community, changing the conversation. We're KBLA Talk 1580, and we don't black down.
Happy Friday. Welcome in. I hope that you are relaxed, chilled out, maybe with a snack or two, a libation, who knows. It's Friday, y'all, and you are locked in with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580, where we are going to get into all the headlines and trending topics across entertainment with me, Jill Munroe. You know, your daily dose and front row seat to the culture. So tonight's lineup, we got a lot on deck. Ayesha Curry, she's breaking down the marriage playbook for she and Steph. And spoiler alert, she says in their household, they come before the kids. So we're going to get into their comments. And, you know, of course, social media always has something to say about these things. We're also going to get into Matthew Lawrence, you know, that's Chili's boo, Chili of TLC, the younger brother of Joey Lawrence. He recently shared a story about an interaction he had on set with Gabrielle Union back in the day. And it begs the question about, you know, who gets to do what in certain situations and where the authority comes from. We'll get into that. And we're going to talk about the odd things that are happening in Florida to one DJ Khaled and rapper Tekashi 6ix9ine. We're going to get into those details soon. But you know, before we get into all of those things, to give you a little conversation starters, little updates on some things that are happening to let you guys stay in the know, like me. So we know that A$AP Rocky beat the charges the other day. He and Rihanna are celebrating. And let's add some more happiness to the sprinkle situation. So the drip just won't quit. A$AP Rocky, Rihanna's baby daddy, common law husband. He is the official first ever creative director for Ray-Ban. That was just announced. So if that's not enough of a flex, he is also the new face of Gucci Guilty, right? So he's going from Harlem to high fashion, no stop in jail. He's going all past it. And, you know, they are building a little beauty fashion empire over there, right? So Rihanna and Rocky, they're going to stay winning for 25. So shouts out to him. Congrats to him. And if you recall, A$AP was also the first black man to be the face of Dior. So he continues to evolve and take things and be the first. Andy?
You know, I forgot that Rihanna's birthday was yesterday.
Right. We shouted her out.
We did. But just thinking about the verdict announcement coupled with her birthday. You know, I always just think about things that just are like timed perfectly. I thought it was dope.
Right. Like just, you know, all of these things coming together, they can push forward as a family and be on their, you know, new horizon. So Congrats to them. So, coming up, there's a new show coming to Netflix next week. And originally, this show kind of started at HBO, but, things happen. So, it is with Mindy Kaling. Jeannie Buss is one of the producers, and it's called Running Point. And basically, the concept of the show is a woman with a family that owns a famous basketball franchise. Something happens with the family, and she has to take over. And the team is called the Los Angeles Waves. Well, there's a private college here in the LA area, Pepperdine, the Pepperdine Waves, and they are suing Netflix and Warner Brothers Discovery over trademark infringement over the show. They claim that the show stole their team name, colors, and even their founding year. So we'll have to see what develops. The show hits Netflix next week, and it is loosely based, to a degree, on Jeannie Buss's life. So we will have to see how that goes. It won't be a winning time for sure, but it might cook up something. When we come forward, we're going to get into all of these trending topics and headlines for Friday night. You are locked in with Jill Munroe.
You're riding with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
As a rideshare driver, I love keeping my car smelling fresh and clean. So when I'm driving, I only trust Febreze car vent clips, featuring 3 distinct intensity settings, because it's that little touch that sets me apart. I can turn the intensity down for subtle freshness, or I can turn it up for when I want lots of scent. So whether it's set to low, medium, or high, with Febreze car, I know my car's going to smell amazing. Which keeps my driver rating right where it belongs. Picking up Oscar!
Lowe's knows how to help you get the most out of your store run. That's why members save more with My Lowe's Rewards. Earn points towards My Lowe's money on eligible purchases. Get access to member-only deals and free member gifts. Plus, unlock free standard shipping when you reach Silver Key status. So what are you waiting for? Join for free today. Lowe's. We help. You save. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Details at lowes.com/terms. Subject to change.
KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. The Los Angeles Regional Food Bank is on a mission to fight hunger and provide nutritious food to those in need across our community. They partner with federal, state, and local programs advocating for better policies and funding for critical hunger relief programs like Cal Fresh, the Emergency Food Assistance Program, and the Child and Adult Care Food Program. The food bank works with coalitions and local representatives to make sure hunger is addressed in every district of LA County. They also run nutrition education campaigns, raise hunger awareness, and source nutritious food for distribution, all while supporting regulations that allow food pantries to operate safely. Want to help? Visit lafoodbank.org or call 323-234-3030 to volunteer or find a food bank near you. Together, we can ensure that no one goes hungry in Los Angeles County. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
The California Crusader newspaper would like to thank all of our subscribers for their support throughout the years, proudly serving the South Los Angeles and South Bay areas for more than 40 years. The California Crusader is a multicultural, black-owned, adjudicated newspaper that focuses on providing newsworthy information to the people in our community. We're constantly looking for ways to assist businesses in our community to connect with our subscribers. We provide low-cost, effective ways to promote your business with our reasonable and affordable advertising rates. You can participate by suggesting, sharing, and submitting your stories on the California Crusader newspaper Community Share Facebook group page, or visit our website at cal-cruise-news.com. That's calcruisenews.com. Then click on the Submit Now button located on the top right corner of the homepage, or text CCN to 42828. Again, text CCN to 42828. The California Crusader newspaper, working together to build a better community for our future. Subscribe today.
Now back to more entertainment news with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Welcome back in to Jill Munroe and your entertainment news update for this lovely Friday. So we're going to continue on with more trending topics because there's so many and I want to make sure you're caught up. So in case you weren't aware, Time has unveiled their 2025 Women of the Year list. And they are recognizing extraordinary leaders fighting for a more equal future. And among those included were Las Vegas Aces star Asia Wilson, gymnast Jordan Childs, and other honorees include Nicole Kidman and Claire Babineau Fortnot. She's an actress and also breast cancer awareness survivor and activist Olivia Munn. So shout out to them. We appreciate seeing Asia. Look, let me slow down. It's Friday. I'm already out the door. Asia and Jordan up there because, their performance in the Olympics this summer obviously stood out. And we always like to see our ones elevated and, highlighted. So we're hearing a lot about, sequels, reboots, more things coming out. Will Smith is looking at Michael B. Jordan and Zendaya for I Am Legend and Hancock sequels. So this was during a Twitch appearance that he was on, one of the streamers, XQC, I believe his name is. And he said that he's been in conversation with Michael B. Jordan, who has a movie Sinners coming out in April that really looks incredible. And so he wants to put him in I Am Legend 2. And he said that they've been talking back and forth, going through some character things, and he really wants to work with him. And then they're developing Hancock 2, and Zendaya is being approached for a role. No word yet on what type of role it would be, but, I'm interested. We'll see what's going on. And we've been talking lately about all of the singers and writers that are selling off their catalog. Well, first of all, did you realize that T-Pain is a 6-time Grammy winner? 6. Up there, right? So he sold his publishing catalog and select masters to Harborview Equity Partners. And he has a huge following in the gaming world, right? He's compiled almost 1 billion streams throughout his career as far as music goes. And so his post life with gaming and Twitch and all of that obviously has a full and fruitful part 2 to his career and life. So he said, why not, put some things out there in the mix, sell them and get those multi millions now, and we'll see what happens in the future. Andy, I'm curious, how do you feel about all of these catalogs being sold? Because in most instances, they're being sold to equity partnership companies. They dole out. If you notice, we see a lot more hip hop in commercial advertisements now. It is the music of the generation. Like back in the day, we would hear a lot of 70s and 60s music in our commercial for the baby boomers. But it seems like now the commercial for, the generation reflecting back is hip hop in a lot of cases, and some pop. So do you think it's the right move for them?
When you broke down this story, it just really, really, really had me thinking. So is he still is receiving equity from his sale of his publishing?
He basically has sold all the publishing rights to them. So they pay him this upfront fee and they do with the songs as they see fit. They are in control of them, and he no longer gets any residuals from that music.
Unless he performs.
Right. Like he had, performance, but I guess the mechanical rights, the publishing rights, where it can be utilized and stuff, he will have no say-so on that.
No say-so on that. It's, I don't know, because it just has me thinking, are these artists just making a product to eventually sell? It brings me back to Swiss Beats selling verses, right? He was like, yo, this is what the white people do all the time. Now, finally, when we do it, it's a problem. And it just has me thinking, damn, why would you want to sell your publishing rights when you have artists like Prince and Michael Jackson? They were fighting for, ownership and rights and all the other type of stuff. Why would you want to sell it? But, I don't know. When you get to a certain dollar amount, I guess
the conversation's over. Here's part 2, because there are a lot of catalogs that sit with people that don't necessarily know what to do with them. They don't know how to shop them around. They don't know how to license them out. And so sometimes in ownership, what does it matter if you own something if you're not able to utilize it?
That's real. I'm
You know?
with you.
So I'm 50-50. Like, we had this conversation, I can't remember, a couple of nights ago, where we were talking about ownership and how everyone's always like, we never hold on to anything as Black people.
Exactly.
But to Swizz's point, these others are not bootstrapping it all themselves and holding on to all of it themselves in order to make it to these billion-dollar industries and household name companies, brand name companies that last for decades and decades and decades. You know, Ford Motor Company is no longer owned by Henry Ford's family. You know, so I mean, I guess Walmart, Sam and Diane, or whatever their names are, the Walmart people, they still own a portion of it, but some of it has to be sold out, divvied out.
You know, that's a tough question to ask anybody who has a product that either they want to hold on or, you know, sell it. You know, in the case of Swizz Beatz and Versus, I just felt like Versus meant so much to the culture that, you know.
But let me ask you, how do you expand it? How do you make sure that the artists that are participating in it, like, you can get sponsors, but how do you make sure the artists that are participating in it get enough equity? Because, you know, at a certain point, they're looking at it and they're like, well, I'm not doing that for pennies because you over there making all that money. Right. And they have a point, right? But common sense says the more you're putting out, right? Mm-hmm. How are we holding on? What type of business model is that? I don't know.
Well, my understanding, and I think that was more of the Triller deal.
Yeah.
Was that any artist, I guess, that's a part of Versus, they get some sort of ownership.
Equity, yeah. They get some like shares. And
where's that now?
I mean,
and I mean, you know, Jay-Z with Tidal. I mean, apparently artists supposed to get more money out of that. I don't know. Like, I just feel like there's certain things, and I guess with T-Pain's music.
Because remember, Irv Gotti did it. He sold the Murder Inc. catalog and all of the things. That. He did. He sold it a couple years before he passed. I think he got $200-300 million.
Hey, if you're gonna sell it, I hope you invest the money correctly. Right. As opposed to, you know, just, you know, washing it away. I'm gonna assume T-Pain is a smart businessman.
T-Pain is a very smart businessman financially. He's and again, like we said, he has a new source of revenue that he is doing extremely well in.
So I guess the music is nothing to him at this point.
Listen, T Grizzly, he's a new rapper. He talked about it too, how much money he's making. He developed a game that's kind of like GTA, but it's his own version of it. Like, so music. We've been talking about this in other aspects, but music, for the love of it, for the art form, music is just another hustle right now for many. It's just another, you know, piece of armor in the arsenal.
So it's crazy because, you know, there's always this discussion about art and culture being stolen.
Right.
But now we're
giving it away.
So I'm just thinking to myself, like, do we complain about that? Should we applaud T-Pain for being a businessman? I mean, does the music matter to us like that anymore? I got hella questions.
Yeah, I mean, it's a complicated thing. You bring up very, you know, great points. You think about it, Hammer was called a sellout in the 90s because of his deals with Pepsi and the Hammer doll and the cartoon and stuff like that. Now, those are goals for everybody. So the world keeps changing. All right, Ayesha Curry, she's pulling back the curtain on how she and Steph keep their marriage thriving. So they said despite the chaos of being parents to 4 children, remember they have 4 kids now, Riley is 12 years old. That trips me out. You think about when the Warriors won that first title and she was in the press room mean mugging the...
Whoa, I feel blessed.
Yep. And she's 12 now. Beautiful young lady. Their daughter Ryan is 9, their son Cannon 6, and their newest son Cassius is 9 months. And so during All-Star Weekend, there was a pop-up for Ayesha's Sweet July brand. And she spoke with People magazine, and she shared that the secret to their relationship is putting them as a couple and individually first, and then parenting as a team. And they said that the key to longevity is that for them. You know, she says, our marriage always comes first, then we're parents. She believes that two happy parents make a happy home. They said that they surround themselves with smart, capable people to help with their business and family, and not being control freaks, and trusting their team to help and fill in when there's time. So that way they are whole, so they can be better and whole for their kids. Now, the Bible says, right, that you put your marriage first, your husband or wife first, and then you bring in your children. So technically that's the right order. But some people have questions. You know, that's what we do naturally. We want to understand. They said that it makes for an easier situation. It doesn't necessarily mean that they are, ignoring the kids or out there just reckless. Obviously, they're the Currys, they're very squeaky clean as far as we are aware. But I do think that it makes a lot of sense. But some people seem to think that they're being selfish. Andy?
Selfish?
Selfish by saying the kids don't come first. They feel like the kids should always come first. And that's saying that they have their priorities.
I guess coming first is subjective. I'd like to know what that actually means for them, coming first. Because as you was breaking down the story, I was like, hell yeah. As a parent, I should come first. You know what I'm saying? I brought you into this world, so let me take care of me before I take care of you. But, how does that actually look like? But the question I have is Ayesha still seeking, attention from the opposite sex? And I wonder if that kind of helps their relationship.
So here's the thing. One, I feel like everybody should have given Ayesha a break. Everybody wants to feel pretty. Everybody wants to be acknowledged like, oh, you're having a nice, good day. And it doesn't mean as much as they say she does. But Ayesha's looking like a baddie. She is on point with her fitness. She looked incredible. So, look, if you listen to Gilbert Arenas, he said, and I'm saying this completely outside of Ayesha and Steph. This has nothing to do with Ayesha and Steph. But Gilbert Arenas says that having a side piece makes your marriage better. So to your point, Andy, maybe, if the men are looking are like, hey, Steph ever go wrong, maybe it's making her smile a little brighter. Andy.
That's so grimy. Look, I know we're human. And you know what, though? Look.
Everybody wants to feel acknowledged sometimes. And you think about it, right? You think about it. Your significant other, like let's say your girl was a Steph Curry in her world, right? And every time you went someplace, everybody was like, Andy's girl, Andy's girl, Andy's girl. Yeah. Excuse me, Andy, I need to get to your girl. Sometimes you would want somebody to say, Andy, you looking nice today. Or, Andy, I heard you the other day at work. You did your thing.
But see, your example was cool, but she specifically said that she wants male attention.
Yeah.
And I'm just kind of like,
yeah. Doesn't work for you, feel like a little too neat. It's been years since that has happened. I think she was just being vulnerable and expressing that was during a Red Table Talk. So, it was
fair.
All the women. So it wasn't necessarily for public in that way. It was, but it wasn't.
I was about to say, like, in that case, would it have been best that maybe, like, I appreciate the vulnerability, right? But in just knowing who you are, knowing who you married to, was that the right place? And I get, right? You have your sister circles. You hang out with your homegirls. Fellas hang out with their homies and stuff like that. But certain things discussed, do they need to be for public consumption sometimes?
Absolutely not. I agree with you, but I think that it is a case-by-case basis. It depends on the individuals and how they can handle the feedback, the response. And you also have to think, too, Ayesha is only 35, so this was like, she's fairly young when some of this commentary was coming out, and it's a different world. So she's, moving and interacting in a different way and trying to be open.
And she's young. I'll give her that.
Yeah. Lucas Frank in the chat says, Black people want to hang on to things because they don't feel like they have to keep hustling. Cameron said it about Dame. You can't just rest on your laurels and think the money will keep coming in. And I mean, I get what you're saying with that. You're right. But that is why I brought up the point about there are some families who have catalogs of, their famous significant other or relative or whatever, but they don't have the connections or understand how to put those things in motion. So from that perspective, is it worth it? Do you hire someone to go and do it for you? Then we hear about the people being cheated out of their money or not really getting things. Now, the valuations, that's a different conversation, but it doesn't seem like on the surface, at least right now, people are being cheated. Now, could these things be worth a great deal more later on down the line? Sure. But that's why, to Andy's point, you invest or whatever, or you understand that this is what I'm doing in the moment, understanding that it could still increase in revenue and whatever in the future. When we come forward, we're going to get into Matthew Lawrence's comments about Gabrielle Union, and we'll tell you about the spooky, creepy, scary, hateful craziness that is going on in South Florida for DJ Khaled and Tekashi 6ix9ine. All that and more on the other side. You are locked in with Joe Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. News, traffic, and sports up next.
Girl, I'm tired of this emptiness. I wanna come home to you and only you. 'Cause making love to just anyone ain't happening. I just gotta be with you. Do you think about us finishing something we started so long ago?
You're in the know with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton with 4 Things You Should Know with BIN News. Washington, D.C.'s Black Mayor Muriel Bowser is calling President Trump's push for more federal control an unnecessary distraction. Trump cites crime and homelessness while Congress considers ending home rule. Akron, Ohio public schools are reviewing DEI policies after Trump's administration warned K-12 schools to cut race-based decisions or risk losing federal funding. The district says it is working to understand and implement the required changes while assessing the potential impact on students and staff. Former Black New York City Mayor Eric Adams' aide, Timothy Pearson, is accused of assaulting staff at a migrant shelter. Investigators say he abused power after a 2023 altercation with security guards who are now suing him. And Black Baltimore Mayor Brandon Scott has sworn in the city's first opioid restitution advisory board to help oversee opioid settlement funds. All members are city residents, and their input will guide how the funds are used effectively. Get BIN News on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
LaSalle Park on the 2 southbound delays from Verdugo Road to the 5. The 5 southbound slowing down in stretches out of Burbank, leaving Olive. You're on the brakes ahead all the way to the 605. Tough in East LA, 60 eastbound from the 5 all the way to the 605. And the 605 northbound in Norwalk, you're on the brakes from the 105 freeway. It's pretty heavy and slow all the way to the 10.
If you or someone you know is affected by the Los Angeles wildfires, you are not alone. No matter how sad, scared, or heartbroken you feel, Cal Hope is here for you and all those affected by the devastating wildfires. Find free, safe, and confidential mental health support at calhope.org.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
While a certain individual in Washington, D.C. is trying to eliminate DEI programs and diversity spending around the country, several major corporations have maintained their commitment to sponsor Saturday's HBCU All-Star football game in New Orleans. The game is called the HBCU Legacy Bowl and features the top players from black colleges. The Legacy Bowl kicks off at noon Pacific time tomorrow at Tulane University and will be broadcast live by the NFL Network. Allstate is the primary sponsor for the Legacy Bowl, but Coca-Cola, Adidas, Coors Light, the New Orleans Saints, and the NFL have made major financial commitments to the game. Rams kick returner Xavier Smith, who played at Florida A&M, played in last year's Legacy Bowl. The Legacy Bowl also features a career fair for the players with more than 100 employers. Diversity, equity, and inclusion still has a home in sports. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
Follow the leader. KBLA Talk 1580. Follow the leader.
Be sure to follow us on Instagram at KBLA 1580.
Follow the leader.
Are you ready?
The station leading the way with exclusive interviews,
Follow the leader.
stimulating conversation, and intellectual discourse that empowers, enlightens, and informs.
Follow the leader.
Follow the leader at KBLA 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
Keep following the
the leader.
Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. The Autopsy Initiative provides a second autopsy free of charge for victims' families who have lost their loved ones due to a police-related death. The services offered through the initiative include the completion of a second autopsy, disclosure of preliminary findings, and a final autopsy report. A police-related death is when an individual is harmed by police officers using deadly force, which results in an individual's death. Police-related death includes in-custody deaths, including those that arise during contact with law enforcement officers during arrest, pursuit, booking, transport, or incarceration. The Autopsy Initiative has a team of board-certified pathologists on call. An autopsy request may be completed by anyone with a close relationship with the victim, which may include the victim's spouse, partner, relative, close friend, or lawyer. To request a free second autopsy for a victim of police violence, please visit knowyourrightscamp.com. That's knowyourrightscamp.com. Then click on Autopsy, then click on Request. At KBLA, we believe in justice for victims of police violence. We say their names, and we don't black down. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Hey there, Los Angeles. This is James Lucky Jr., publisher and editor of Los Angeles News Observer. Are you hungry for news that matters to you in the African-American communities of Los Angeles? Well, buckle up, because we got the scoop you've been craving. Stay in the know and never miss a beat with our free weekly publications conveniently available near you. Or hop on the digital wave and become an exclusive subscriber at OGNSC.com. Don't forget to join the party on Instagram and Twitter at OGNSCINC for behind-the-scenes access and sizzling updates. No more FOMO. Let's stay informed, connected, and empowered together.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. You're listening to Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Say you need someone to be there for you, to love you all night long. It's kind of funny, but I don't think you have to look no further, because I'm right here and I'm ready to do all the things your man would do.
Tell me what kind of man would treat this woman so cold, treat you like you're nothing when you're worth more than gold. Girl, to me you're like a diamond. I love the way you shine. $100 million treasure, I'll give the world to make you mine. I'll put a string of pearls right in your hand, make love on a beach of jet black sand. Outside in the rain, we can do it all night.
Welcome back in. You are locked in with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. You know, if you want to get in on the conversation, feel free to hit us up on social media, KBLA 1580. Me personally, I'm at Stiletto Jill. You can always call 800-920-1580. And of course, the YouTube chat. Andy, I got a question.
Yes,
what are you doing this weekend?
I'm chilling. I know I'm playing the R&B
You
song.
are R&B'd out like it's late 90s, early 2000 vibes. Like you going home to candlelighting you and stuff.
I mean, you know, it's the weekend. You know, you was talking about, you know, sitting back with a libation or whatnot. So, you know.
You was setting the tone.
I mean, I got to
get
set
it
the
ready.
tone.
Okay.
Unpopular opinion.
Okay.
I like Joe with the hair than Joe with the bald headed dude.
Okay.
I know it's random. I just, because I was like,
do you think there's a singing difference?
Man, this song, when it came out, this song right here, I was like, yo, Joe, this is fire. Then he cut his hair, and I was like, them songs are okay. But ain't none of them touching this.
It's not this and not that.
It ain't this.
That was a song. You know what immediately comes to my mind, though, when I hear it?
Don't be a menace.
Yes. So, and do you want to know what's even crazier about that? And I'm about to lose.
Don't tell me you was in that.
No,
Okay.
no, I was not. I've never seen it.
You're not gonna get your card pulled away.
Okay.
I don't think it's a classic.
Like, I get the references when people throw them out there because
Yeah.
they've been repeated, but I've never sat down and watched it.
You don't have no interest in watching it? Do you like comedies?
I do like comedies. I like comedy a lot.
You should watch it.
But so here's the thing.
Especially, considering the Wayans are.
Yeah. And we do know I like. So here's my thing, right? Another unpopular opinion. No. So the Wayans sometimes do a little slapstick types, like their comedy is very big,
Okay.
very like broad. There's a lot of physical comedy in what they do, and just there's a style, there's a beat to it. And sometimes it doesn't always work for me.
What does that mean? It's not funny?
Yeah. But
interesting.
But I think that they're funny and I like the things, but sometimes just some of the bits and the things that they do.
Okay.
It just, for me personally, it just doesn't resonate.
Okay. So are we talking about a lot of their movies, or?
It's not even, there's just maybe certain bits within it, right? There's just certain things I just feel like, okay. I can't think of anything.
Did you like the Wayans Brothers, the show?
I did, but there were certain bits in there, like certain moments that I was just like,
Did you like My Wife and Kids?
I did. So that's what I'm saying. It's not that I don't like it. It's just, maybe certain choices, like maybe the way that they set up a scene or something that they're very broad, and just some stuff there's isms and you can see it and you pick up on it sometimes. So, but shout out to the Wayans. They're being honored tomorrow night. Very excited for that. So, at the NAACP Image Awards, and, crazy respect for them.
What's really going on?
What's up?
Mimi says she hasn't seen it either. What's going on? You know what? Since, we're going to be honest, I still haven't seen Black Panther.
Okay.
So you're not pulling my card?
No.
Okay, good.
Let me tell you why. I did not see Black Panther until I was on a plane coming back from somewhere. I did not dress in my kente cloth and go to the movies to see it. It was about a year or two after it had come out. So, and I mean, if we want to get into Black classics that I've never seen.
What else you haven't seen?
Malcolm X. Never seen it. Okay. I've seen it in pieces. Okay. I've never seen it. I've never seen Ali. I've seen it in pieces. Never watched it all the way through.
I don't think Ali is considered like a staple.
Okay.
Shout out to Will Smith, but I don't. Malcolm X, yeah.
Yeah. So I've never seen it though.
Okay. All right. I ain't seen 5 Heartbeats.
What?
Look at you.
No. Andy.
That's the one movie I haven't watched either. Yeah.
Why not? Not interested. Did you watch the Temptations TV movie?
Nope.
No. Okay. Did you watch the Jacksons' American Dream?
I sure did. I loved it.
Okay. Did you watch New Edition's movie?
You know what? I saw bits and pieces of it, but I don't know. I just wasn't interested in watching that long series. But no disrespect to New Edition, I rock with them.
Those 4, I feel like, are some of the best and Ray biopics ever for me. And yeah, you should watch the 5 Heartbeats though.
I will
at some point. You should watch that.
All my homies, I see skits all over social media about the 5 Heartbeats. It's not that I'm against it. I don't know.
You just didn't get to it and never went back to it. I completely understand. Kilos, I'm probably jacking up your name. I do apologize. I haven't seen Black Panther either. I don't think it's really a black movie, if we're being honest. There has been that conversation on, is it a superhero movie or is it a black movie?
It's both.
A movie that just happens to have a black cast. Does that make it? Because remember we had this conversation the other day because what did I call? I called White Chicks a black classic, and you said,
right.
Is it?
I don't think it's a black classic. But I'm not saying that.
Right.
I mean, I would still consider it a black movie,
Right.
right? But as far as classics within the community, no.
Okay. Interesting. Pretty Brown Mimi says, I've never seen Malcolm X or School Days in full, just
There you
bits
go,
and
Jill.
pieces.
You ain't the only one.
Okay. So there we go. School Days, that was a must. I saw that in the theaters when it came out, and it made me want to, that and A Different World made me want to go to a black college, an HBCU. I didn't really, even though both my parents at points went to HBCUs, I didn't really understand or embrace it until A Different World and School Days.
Your parents, they didn't like.
Not at all.
You gotta go to Howard.
Nope. My mom wanted, because my mom went to graduate school at UCLA. So she was like, you could go there, but she really wanted me to go to SC. And my dad was just like, you going to college. It wasn't, he was just like, going. When we come forward, we're going to get into the Joey Lawrence, Gabrielle Union story. And I got to tell you about the crazy, spooky, scary thing going on in Florida. People are taking this beef too far. All that and more on the other side. You're locked in with Jill Munroe.
Your ride with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now save 50% on the new Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Limited time. Exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. Learn more at sleepnumber.com.
I feel so alone.
I'm embarrassed to talk about it.
How can I help my kid if I can't help myself?
I can't remember when I wasn't stressed.
I don't like stress.
When you feel overwhelmed by your thoughts and emotions, it's okay to get help. You are not alone. CalHope is here for you with free, safe, and confidential mental health resources for youth, young adults, families, and you. Find support now at calhope.org.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 is committed to self-care and community well-being. Walk Good LA was formed in June 2020, inspired by the Black Lives Matter movement and the beginning stages of the COVID-19 pandemic. What began as a few minutes of breath work and yoga meditation before protests against police brutality turned into a safe space for the community to heal in hard times. The immensely positive response from the community transformed the momentum into a movement. Today, Walk Good LA is a black and brown-led community wellness organization based in Los Angeles. They provide spaces for healing through community yoga classes, guided meditations, hikes, run clubs, and other activations throughout Los Angeles that attract hundreds of members weekly. With the help of Propel and Michael B. Jordan, they now have a yoga and wellness studio in Los Angeles called the Walk Good Yard. To join their mailing list and connect with healing spaces, please visit walkgoodla.org. That's walkgoodla.org. Or find them on Instagram at walkgoodla. This is a community call to action, a community call to healing from KBLA Talk 1580.
Now back to more entertainment news with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Welcome back in. You are here with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. So it's Matthew. Joey is the older brother. It's Matthew, and Matthew is the one that's dating Chili. Matthew Lawrence, right? He's currently dating Chili of TLC. And recently he was on the Magical Rewind podcast, and he talked about the only time he ever got in trouble on a set. And I think this was like a soccer or something movie. This was like in the late 90s, early 2000s. So Gabrielle Union was, still coming up in the mix, but establishing herself. And so he shared that Gabby came to him and asked if they could run lines, basically rehearse, practice their scene. And he said he was like, nah, I'm good. And Gabby ended up going to report him to producers. So his point was just sharing the story of when he got in trouble on the podcast. But it brings up an interesting thing because obviously now we see Gabrielle is still in the industry, gone on to, many roles producing all of the things. But some people were questioning as to why he was so flippant about wanting to rehearse and why he was so initially offended about that. And I think it goes to an entitlement thing. He felt perfectly okay to get up there. He said he felt like it kept it fresher when you didn't rehearse, so that it was more of a natural reaction, which is one way, actually, to approach acting. But I think if you think about someone like Gabby or, anyone that is early in their careers, especially a woman, oh, by the way, especially a Black woman or a woman of color, you have to be almost perfect, because if you do something wrong, who knows where that can pull you out to. So the fact that he was so flippant about it and he felt like she tattled on him is kind of indicative of the industry and the way things go down. So he said that it was clear that Gabrielle was destined for stardom. He doesn't hold any ill will, and he said he wasn't sharing the story to cast her in a bad light. But you do have to wonder, well, I guess he says he was sharing it because he got in trouble on the set. But he could have just said with an actress. Didn't have to name the actress. So that in itself kind of makes me feel like, was there some shade and you thought better of it? Maybe I'm just reading too much into it. All right. So DJ Khaled and Tekashi 6ix9ine, they have some crazy, weird, scary movie stuff jumping off. DJ Khaled woke up to a black coffin outside of his Miami home with the words, "Rest in peace, OVO," and "Rest in peace, Drake" written on it. And Tekashi 6ix9ine received a similar coffin like that at his house 2 days before. So we don't know if it's some type of viral stunt, if it's something more sinister, but the police are kind of investigating, kind of not. So what happened is that the two men came in a delivery truck, said they had a delivery for Khaled. They went up to the house, dropped the coffin, kneeled down in front of the coffin, and started praying. This was caught by the cameras. And, oh, by the way, it also had an upside down cross. People are playing. Don't do that. Don't do that. So soon after, allegedly, Khaled's security team came and removed the coffin, destroyed it. Miami Beach PD and Palm Beach County Sheriff said that they are not investigating what is going on. Not. Khaled hasn't responded publicly about the incident. But, hey, fans, it's okay to not want to literally involve yourself. Andy?
There's like no Ring camera footage or anything like
that? There's footage of two men. They go up to the gate. They say that they have a delivery for Khaled.
Okay.
They are let through the gate. They unload the coffin. Okay. They kneel down in front of the coffin and pray. And then they take off.
What company are these delivery men from?
They aren't a real delivery.
That's weird.
Crazy, right?
Like, what does Khaled have to do with anything OVO, Drake? I mean, I know they've collaborated,
but nothing.
I don't know too much about 6ix9ine receiving the same thing.
I feel like it's just fans just trying to get some attention, but don't play with me.
They had some money to be over here sending coffins and stuff.
Coffins.
I don't know, man. They gotta stay. And it's funny because DJ Khaled, he seems to be a real spiritual individual. He's always talking
two
about
upside
God.
Down crosses. I
don't know, man. Yeah. The devil must be trying to get him.
Do not.
Somebody put some oil over DJ Khaled's family.
It's something, right? Well, but they're Muslim, right? Or something.
Or what? Allah. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. This is the thing. I just, why, people? Why? Because what is that even supposed to mean? Right? Not that you would want Khaled or Tekashi's name on it, but why is Drake's mail coming to my house? I don't know. I just think that we are in very weird times, and just no, that's not a good thing.
There's something in the water in Florida.
You think it's just Florida water?
I mean, just, they already against DEI. They against wokeness. You got they're a red state, from my understanding.
They are.
So, it seems as if like there's this culture war, Americans versus Canadians and stuff like that. So I don't know what's going on.
But they're way down in Florida. I don't understand the mix. And I think people just, I don't know. But the thing is, he does have children and he has a wife. So, of course, anything could have been inside that coffin, right? It could have been fireworks. It could have been dirt. I don't know. But don't play with me like that. Okay, so fresh off the Ball family victory comes a little sad news for the Ball family. Your guy LeVar Ball, we don't know why, there was an emergency procedure that had to happen, and his left foot was amputated. And LeVar says he's in great spirits. He's posted on Instagram, pumping up Jello song, Tweaker. But you just have to wonder, usually when I see people losing limbs or things like that, I think diabetes.
Diabetes, yep.
Yeah. And, LeVar is, relatively speaking, not too old. And you think about the fact that his wife, 5 or 6 years ago, had a stroke. Don't know if you remember their Facebook TV show, reality show that they had, when he wouldn't allow his wife a wheelchair because he said he wanted to encourage her to walk on her own, so he wouldn't let her have her wheelchair. And now he has to be in a wheelchair and not on the court. Like that, it just really hurt my feelings when I heard about that, just because we have been talking a great deal, with Irv Gotti. We've mentioned the names: Craig Mack, DMX, Mr.
Scoop,
C, Fat Man
DJ
Scoop, DJ Unk, so many.
Irv Gotti.
Health, man. Health is wealth.
Fellas, man, we got to change our diets, man. We got to change our diets, or at least, try to start incorporating, fruits and veggies in there. You know what I'm saying? I know we like to hit up Church's Chicken, Popeyes, and, have our Hennessy and all that afterwards and whatnot. But if we're going to do that, please have a salad beforehand or something. You know what I'm saying? Drink you
grilled chicken,
a gallon of water or something like that, because it's happening, man. We over here passing away too young, yo.
Young. Like all of these, I'm not sure how LeVar Ball is. I'm not sure if he's 60 yet. I feel like he's, not too old, though. It just, you're an ex-athlete. Exactly. Your children are athletes. Like, we should not be seeing that from him. So I hope he gets his health together. I hope that doesn't have to undergo anything else to that nature. And, things are okay.
Yeah.
In your daily, because it's been daily, 50 Cent Lil Meech beef update. Lil Meech has clearly chosen a side, and it is Rick Ross and them. And he posted a picture with Ross, Boss. Again, I am wondering, are we ever going to see season 4 of BMF? We know March 7th, Raising Kanan will be back. Spoiler alert, I have interviews coming with the cast of Raising Kanan. It's going to be really good this season. We'll get into that, I think next week after. But Michael Rainey Jr., that is Tariq from, Ghost, Power, the Universe. Someone left a comment on one of his photos and said, "Hey, you should have took Little Meech under your wing." And Michael responded, "Tried to do it, but he wanted to be big bro over there," shaking my head. So I thought that the little back and forth that they were all having on social media was, they were in the spirit of 50, but maybe there was a little realness to that going on as well. You never can tell. Well, check this out. It's Friday, guys, and as always, I want to thank you for locking in with me all week. Thank you once again to Keith Underwood for being there with us this week. What is 1-5, Andy? I'm confused.
Nah, I want to say, hold on.
Okay.
One more bits and pieces of news.
Yes.
Rest in peace, Valletta Waters.
That is right. How could I forget that? Rest in peace to Biggie's mom. She passed away. She was in hospice care. You know, when Biggie died, he had an estate worth approximately $10 million. During Valletta's time and under her leadership and guidance, she elevated his, legacy, his music, and all of the things to about $160 million. So shout out to her. A parent should never outlive their child. So I hope she is reunited with her son and resting peacefully. And, love your family. Hug on your people, y'all. I will be at the NAACP Image Awards tomorrow. I will have all the news from that on Monday. And, thank you guys as always for locking in. Make sure that you are here on Monday, 6 p.m. for your entertainment news update. Tea with receipts. That's what we like to say. Enjoy your weekend, guys. Thank you.
Remember back in the days when had waves, gazelle shades and corn braids, pitching pennies, honeys had the high top jellies, shooting skelly, motherfucker was all friendly, lounging at the barbecues, drinking brews with the neighborhood crews, hanging on the avenues. Turn your pages to 1993, just getting smoked, G. Believe me, talk slick, you get your neck slick quick.